Fords were struggling. I don't know if there's a panic button for them or not, but I thought it was really interesting because in years past, especially the 550 package, obviously not the same, the Penske motto would always be qualify, not that great, and race really well. And they owned Las Vegas forever. And then this year, they qualify up front. Logano's on the pole, and I just watched that whole first run. Him and Blaney just went backwards the whole time. Blaney kind of rebounded and he ran top 10 a little bit. I never saw Logano again until he got wrecked by the 6. And, the Stewart-Haas cars were – Kevin was the only one I saw all day.
And that's a problem with Stewart-Haas, though, right now. I mean, you kind of want to separate this between Ford overall, which I think they have their own issues, and then Stewart-Haas. You look at Stewart-Haas right now, it's like Kevin and everyone else. And that's been an ongoing issue with SHR largely for the last year or so. Chase Briscoe at times pops up and has had good runs. He obviously won Phoenix last year, had a great run in the playoffs, but he disappeared through the summer stretch. And if I'm SHR and I'm looking at this with Kevin Harvick set to retire, like you guys had this conversation last week, who's going to step in that spot and help elevate this team? Because it's a little worrisome right now.
Yeah, you need it. Like we talked about last week, you need an A guy, and Kevin's obviously their A guy. You saw it yesterday. Kevin ran top 8 to 10 most of the race when, I don't know, Eric was probably 15th to 20th, I would assume, and we were lapping the 14 and the 41 almost at the end of every stage. So, they were, I would say, probably 20th to 25th. So, that's what we talk about when we say you got an A-level driver and then you've got kind of everybody else. Like that, Kevin can kind of carry a substandard car a little bit further than the rest of them guys
100%.
can. So,
Jordan, with that in mind, who would be your opinion or your pick to replace Harvick next year?
I mean, contracts aside, Eric Jones has a multi-year deal with Legacy, and I understand that, but we know how contracts work. To me, Eric Jones is a top-flight driver, and if you put him in race-winning equipment, he is going to get the job done. You do not win the Southern 500 twice without being an excellent race car driver. And I know that this is unfortunately reality in NASCAR. Like, well, sponsorship concerns, and does he align with the right sponsors? I don't care. At the end of the day, if I'm SHR and I want a driver in my race car who's going to go win races and is going to make me better, who I know if I have in my race car is going to elevate my program, I want Eric Jones, because I'm looking at the other guys under contract right now. Chastain, Bell, Larson, Byron, Blaney, Logano, all of those guys have signed multi-year extensions. They're not going anywhere. Tyler Reddick jumped over to the Toyota camp. He's not going anywhere. Kyle Busch, who I think SHR should have went after, and they didn't for their own reasons, is now under a multi-year deal. You're not going to get those guys. But with Legacy, I would like to explore whether or not it's an option to buy him out. And I know it's going to cost money, and maybe it's not even an option. But if I'm at least going to try to get Eric Jones, because if I get him in my race car, I know I've got a guy who can go out and win races.
yeah, that was the win.
Yeah.
Did you make that article public?
I was trying to keep again. I was not revealing that. That was you, not me. I was keeping that.
Jordan, I think, polled a bunch of us.
There was a lot of people in the industry.
And that was my answer. Eric Jones. I felt like Eric Jones gives me Joey Logano vibes
100%.
of he was at Gibbs, won a couple races. Maybe didn't do the work, maybe didn't do, didn't put the effort in that he needed to, and now realizes that, and he's making the most of where he's at. And then I think if he gets another opportunity, he's gonna even be a little bit better. So like Joey wasn't a champion at Gibbs, he's a champion now, a 2-time champion now. So,
but with the organizational changes at Legacy, I mean, wouldn't Eric potentially want to see where it goes, knowing that Jimmy's behind them now and they have a good structure in place?
That's fair, but I also got to look at the hierarchy of where they place in at Chevrolet, right? I mean, they're always going to be behind Hendrick Motorsports. They're probably always going to be behind Trackhouse and RCR, so they're going to slot in 4 over there. That's a tough pill. And when, yes, the next gen car is supposed to kind of narrow the competitive gulf, if you will, a little bit, and create parity, but still at the end of the day, if I have an opportunity to go join Stewart-Haas Racing, which is an elite organization that doesn't lack for resources or anything else, I'm going to take that opportunity.